and we can actually start the interview itself. Okay, let me close this one. Let me check if everything is working fine on the stream end. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Please say something.
Hello, everyone.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me sit into my original position here. Like I'm always saying, so many cables. Okay, dear David, let me know if you can start. Let me know if you're down to start.
I'm down to start whenever you are ready to go. Then I'm ready to go.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. So welcome everyone in the very new episode of my Dev Live show. Today I'm joined with David, who is the CEO and co-founder of the development studio called Invisible Walls. They were making first-class trouble, and also they are working hard on Neighbors Suburban Warfare. First of all, I would like to say that I'm very thankful and very honored that you joined us for today's episode of my Dev Live show. And like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please, David, introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, thanks. Lovely to be here. I'm David. I founded the company. I was part of I started originally, I'm CEO of Invisible, of course, but originally I started in a different company called, together with the old CEO, called Investigate North. In that company, which was sort of a cross-media company, we did a game called Aporia Beyond the Valley, which was our first little kind of more art project. And I don't know how long introduction you would like, because I can go through.
It's up to you. It's always up to my guest.
I started there. I started there as a 3D artist. I did some 3D art when I was in university, and then Sebastian, which was the game director, said, "Hey, we need some 3D. Would you like to do it?" And fine, sure, I would love to do it, because I was working as a bartender. I'd like to do something else. I love doing 3D. So I joined the company as a part-time while I was studying at university. And then gradually, while we were doing Aporia Beyond the Valley, because it was a small team, I think at the maximum we were 8 people. Then I became from 3D artist, I became the QA management service in testing the game and all that. And then I just did some marketing, some social media together. I thought that was fun. I'll just do that. And then in the end, then when the game came out, it just did all right. So this company, Investigate North, was a company that was born out of making movies and TV shows. They did the I can't remember what. It's very famous Swedish TV shows and a movie license. They decided there's no future in making games.
Oh, I see.
The future is in movies and TV shows.
I see.
So in 2017, Nils approached me saying, "Hey, after this, I want us to continue together and make our own company." I said, of course I'll do it. I would love to do it, because this was my passion. So me, Nils, Sebastian, which is the game director, Nils was the CEO, and a few other people. Well, a handful. I think it was 6 or 7 in total. And we said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do it." Of course, Nils, he instantly got another job. So I ended up being the CEO of the company initially. So that was the CEO. But then we sat in a closed off little basement. We called our university, saying, "Hey, can we borrow a little room?" So we got a little room where we sat and made the game. We spent me and Sebastian. We went on government welfare while we just on the side had this little project we were working on. And we sat there every day, and then over the month, a few people was falling off. But then that's where we started on working on First Class Trouble. And then Nils came back again after a year or so and said, like, okay, let's actually do something about it. And then I went back to my role as a producer / 3D artist. I think when you're a small company, you just do a little bit of everything.
True. You wear more hats, right? So.
Yeah. So we did. Yeah. So I just. I think I did a lot of like a work for hire, like I did from, like, if you know Novo Nordisk and like these pharmaceutical companies. I was doing graphical art for them to just make sure the company worked while we were working on First Class Trouble. And then leading up to, of course, I guess we come into the whole process of First Class Trouble. But of course, we released First Class Trouble, and then we were sold to. Embracer acquired us. Amplifier Amplifier Game Studios acquired us, and which is a subsidiary of the Embracer family. So we acquired there in 2021-ish. 2022, sorry. And then we worked on Neighbors Suburban Warfare ever since then. That released in April. And I've been the CEO. Nils left to be a filthy lobbyist for the government. No, he's actually, because the Danish Denmark is not very good at like what's going on here? 1 second, my dog is acting
It's okay. Your dog, by the way, is in Neighbors, right? I can tell.
Yeah, my dog is in Neighbors. Yeah, sorry.
I knew it. Yeah.
I hope she doesn't want to go out, because that would be insane. No. Yeah. So what happened? What was I talking about? So I became CEO end of last year, and I've been CEO ever since, and just working on the games, Neighbors, as it is now.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
That's all of the very short runway of.
That's the short, long story. Yeah, exactly.
It could be very longer. It could also be very shorter. But,
I appreciate it. Yeah. So my very first question would be looking back into your past with video games as a player. So my question goes: what was your very first contact with video games as a player? If you remember those times of your past, your childhood memories.
My childhood memories, like I was sitting in a basement. I had I think I had a Sega Mega Drive. I think maybe the first one was a Game Boy. I don't know. I think my first console was I had a Sega Mega Drive that I played every day in my basement with my brother. I think maybe I have to go for 10 minutes or so, because my dog. I think that my dog is saying I want to go out.
Okay.
So Ottó, I don't know. I think I just have to be right back. Maybe we can start. I don't know. This is very weird. Otherwise, I think she'll poop all over the floor.
Okay.
Awkward. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. I will. Yeah, sure. Should we keep the call, or should I drop the call until now?
I don't know. We can keep the call. We can drop the call.
We can keep the call, and I will talk with the chat until then. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think. Otherwise, I don't have any fun to just take and I'm at home right now, so it's.
It's understandable. I will wait for you now within a call. Yeah. Okay.
5 minutes, I'll be back.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you have any questions that I can ask until our guest friends came back or will be coming back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It was no. My dog is has a few kidney problems and stuff. So it's
I see.
so when she has to go, she has to go. But I'm here. Cool.
So yeah, my original, I can hear you. So my original question was about your childhood memories with video games as a player, and you started talking about it. Then in your basement with your brother, you were playing games.
Yeah, I had a Sega Mega Drive. That in our basement that I got from my parents together. So me and my brother played that every day. We had these. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The Sega Mega Drive.
Yes.
But like, and you can also expand it. So we have 3 expansions on it. So we have like the CD expansion, and then we have the 64-bit or whatever it was expansion on top of it as well. So we could play all the games. We played that, tons of it. So I think that was sort of the first real game we were playing. I think we were playing tons of Sonic. Those was our favorite games. Because Sonic 2, where you can play together. Like we always play this game that we could play together. But I think played the most. Of course, we had computers, so we played Counter-Strike and these games together. I remember when I was at my friend's place. Well, my brother's place, and he had a PlayStation 1. And he had like a Tomb Raider. I was like, this was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like the graphics was so insane. So when I got a PlayStation 1 for Christmas, that was my life gone right there. That was
you played all day, every day, right?
Every day, all day, every day, all the games, Siphon Filter, all the good titles, Metal Gear, that's so good.
Yeah, those upgrade really. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and then there was all the other ones, all the consoles all the way up, and then of course I always had a computer next to it, so I played Battlefield, tons of Battlefield.
I can relate to that. Yeah, I played a tons of hours with Battlefield games too. Yeah,
I was part of the modding community on Battlefield 2 for Project Reality a little bit as well. So I think that was pretty fun. They just mod the way out of it.
I see.
I
see.
I guess that's also
no, go for that. Sorry, go for it.
No, I guess that's also sort of where like the game development sides come, right? It sort of come into it. I remember like playing Battlefield 1942, and it was like modding it with Desert Combat and these things was so much fun.
True. And it shows, by the way, that you and your team put those fun moments and were influenced by these old school and older games to be able to understand what is fun and what is fun for the players, in my opinion. Because whenever I played Neighbors or First Class Trouble with my community and me as well, we always had fun during these games.
Yeah, you played it a bit, right? Quite a bit.
Yeah, I did. So like I told you before, like we were one of the only like streamers and communities who played First Class Trouble in Hungary, because like the promotion in Hungary was a very low profile promotion for the game in Hungary. And also I feel like in Hungary most games are not promoted well. We try to do it, but we are not like the biggest streamers in Hungary, so it's harder for us.
I think when we did with our publisher, it was like try to go for publisher. Are they US and Asia? And they only knew the US, so I think we just managed a little bit in the US.
True,
and I think
true.
Everything else was a little left behind.
But it's interesting when First Class Trouble was free on Epic Games, if I remember correctly. I remember a lot of Hungarian streamers also started to pick up, and they actually loved it. They actually loved the concept of that it's unique and different, which is also the place for fun for players, right? So
it's such a cool game, and we really loved making it, because I played a lot of board games, right? So I played a lot of Dead of Winter and Avalon, and like these the social deduction games. Like play a lot of Blood and the Clock Tower. So I love these social deduction games, and I think that's sort of where we started. And it was so funny that it was so difficult to get funding for the game. Because like whenever we went out and asked for money for the game, for the government, this will not be a thing. People don't have microphones. cannot be a thing.
Really?
Lying in video games, we don't see that happening. And of course, COVID happened, and Among Us happened, and stuff like that. So I think that proved it a bit wrong. But like everyone said, like, yeah, we can't have a game where you require a microphone. That shouldn't happen. So it's impossible.
Interesting. Well, I feel like it's the point of the whole game, right? And these type of genres to have a microphone and to be in a party. So it's the whole point of these genre games. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think that's something interesting that happens when lying is a thing. Also, because it's a different skill level. Because I think it opens up the game for more people. That's like, oh, I'm fast at moving my mouse. But like, okay, but can you convince someone else that you're speaking the truth? I think
it's a whole another methodical gameplay.
Yeah. I think that's super fun because like, it opens up for all like casual to high. Like those things are no longer an issue because now it's your speech, your social skills that matter.
True, very true. From that point of your life, by the way, that you loved playing with so many video games, what was that light bulb moment in your head, that tick in your head, that you realized that, hey, I would like to work on video games, and how it all started? Because you started talking about when you started making your first games, but how it all started, like what was the very first moment?
Yeah, I don't know if there was like a light bulb, like this is the moment where I want to make video games. I think it was just like I love playing them. I like to work in them. Like I read all the magazines and all the stuff. So whenever I went to university, I went to a cross media education. So it's everything. Like I guess everything with a screen. So and whenever we had to do projects, we sort of decided how we're going to test the projects, and then we just ended up like, oh, we can make the projects, let's test it in a game. For example, we tested something with like so we just guide it to whatever we want, and that's, I think we did a project that was like how to do subliminally. We were showing pictures of people that were scared on the screen in between frames.
I see.
To get people to be more scared and stuff. So I think it was just something that was super fun that you could do that, and we actually saw the people. There was some significant change, so it's just fun. And then I went to my other university, it was more business. But then I was like, how can you use crowdfunding and like users and community engagement to drive like a game marketing and build game audience and engage with the audience. So I think it's just something that it was just like I played games every day. It was natural. It just became what I also worked with in the end. I guess was my hobby became my thing.
I see.
But then again, now I've never played as little games as I play now. So
I see.
I think that's the opposite.
I see. A more personal question from me would be about this topic of how you start in making video games. Is that were your family members, close friends, and parents supportive about this decision of yours that you would like to make video games?
No, I don't think anyone in my family like supported anything related. Like my family can hardly turn on a computer.
I see.
So it was just I think I just loved anything that's tech. I just love that, and I just kept on like to my parents saying, I want this, I need this, can I have it? And they said no, and then I just keep asking, keep nagging them, and then like I get a computer, I just fool around with that and like learn how to do like then I would play Age of Empires and see this is cool, and go to internet cafes with my friends. So it became this social thing that we did together instead of just like me sitting and playing with computers at home. Then we did it all with my friends in the end. So there was not this. I don't think there was anything where my parents were like, yeah, it's cool, you can help me print out a Word document. but that was about it. I think it was just me being interested in
that's
tech.
More than nothing, right? So
yeah.
I guess so.
The printer's broken again, David. Can you fix it? Yeah, I guess I can fix it.
True. I see.
So I think that's the limit of their support, and then of course providing me with the games and the things to play.
I see.
But yeah,
Do you feel like
I don't know if that was if that was a way for just me getting me away from the get him to the basement and he can play his video game for hours and hours.
Just leave us alone, right? Don't bother us. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Do you believe, by the way, that for you personally it's important in life, or was it important for you to have a mentally supportive background when you chased your dreams, or no, or you would have done it anyway?
My family is amazing. They still my dad is in his late 80s now, right? But he still loves to when he picks me up every time I want to be picked up and drive me around, because I don't have a car. I live in Copenhagen, so it's everything with bikes. But if we have to drive, he'll drive me everywhere, and my mom will
support me
in anything. So they're very, very supportive.
Just, I guess we could say that they did not understand your passion, right? Or what's behind that?
No, they're like, he likes this. We have no idea what this is, but whatever. Like I think there's always these memes of you showing your parents how awesome a game is, and they're all literally, my parents are like, they have no idea what they were looking at. I was showing them, this is
it is the Matrix.
Look at the graphics in this, and they're like, what the fuck is this? They have no idea. I was like, yeah, David's having fun. Let's just leave him there.
I see. Did it change, by the way, over the years when they realized that you're making money of it? So it's like your job now, not just a hobby.
Yeah, I don't think they understand what they know that I do video games, but they have no idea like what a video game is. I think they know more now than the CEOs. Like, okay, yeah, there's a company.
I see.
But how to make the product, they have no idea how that goes on.
I see.
That doesn't really interest them. But they're really proud of me. But
that's what matters the most, right?
That's what matters. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Throughout the process, no, go for that. Sorry, go for that.
No, I was not saying anything.
Throughout the process of making First Class Trouble and Neighbors, what was your very favorite moments about the process itself of making these games come to life?
I think First Class Trouble was just we spent a year and a half just in government welfare making the game, right? So it was and we had no idea if people liked it. So it was, I think the best was seeing the community grow on a Discord. We have a very lively and sometimes very too passionate community.
True. Yeah, but I've seen that. Yeah.
It's insane. But but seeing them actually getting what we're doing, I thought that was the best thing about doing the games. And also just we work so hard on it. We work every day from 9 to 10 in the evening, just making the game, and not getting any money for it, but then releasing it and people enjoying it. Of course, yeah. I think that was the best part of it. And now where we are, I think in the end when doing Neighbors, we topped out at the maximum point was 29 people at one point. For me, that was the most fulfilling now is making sure creating a work environment where everyone is having a good time and we enjoy what we're doing and everyone is nice to each other and we just can build off each other's energy to make something that's cool. I think that's the best part now. Yeah.
I see. You have spoken, by the way, about your favorite parts of the process itself of making these games come to life, but what about the most challenging parts of the process itself? That you might not like doing, or that they are the most challenging for you?
I think that's not the most challenging, but I hate the whole the search for money is the worst part. I think it's always, as an indie company, it's always a struggle. It's always a search to get new money, and I hate networking for the sake of networking. I think that's just, for me, I would rather just spend time working on the game.
True. Because you're a creative person, right? So it's closer to you, not.
But as a CEO, you have to do these things. I think it's my needs are what I would want to do. This is the most boring thing I do is just talk to people. and I think that's the most difficult things as well, because I'm kind of an introverted guy as well.
I see.
So for me, also to doing all these things is super. It comes to me not supernatural.
I see.
But I just do it anyway. So I think that's the worst thing. I think also it's annoying dealing with publishers who don't like understand your game and your visions and your stuff. I think that's also annoying. But most likely you get publishers who I think we've been somewhat lucky with our current, but they get like, oh, this is the studio, this is what they're doing, right? They do social experiences in video games. But yeah, so I think that pans out now. But in the beginning was just like a race for money, and then you just ended up in places where, like, in hindsight, you shouldn't have been.
I see.
Yeah.
When those issues happened in your life as a developer and as a CEO, what could help you get over with these harder times with the development phases? Because a lot of studios give up or close down in these situations, right? But you guys did not close down your doors, and you just kept on going.
I think we have a little bit of a there's not a lot of game studios in Denmark, but I think what we have is we're a little bit of some rebel attitude.
I see.
Like, we don't really give a fuck about what people think.
But that matters at the end of the day, right? So it shows that.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, but I think sometimes people they come like people will just go our own way. Like, I think when we did when we were doing First Class Trouble, and we were about like a year and a half in, we ran out of money, and we just we got rejected from the government many times to get funding for the game, to do the vertical slice for the game. So it's like, okay, fuck it. We have I think we had 40,000 Danish kroner, which is nothing. So let's just send it off the application, and we'll just go to GDC, have a good time, and then and just like, if they don't get it, they don't get it. But like, we're not changing our vision for anything. And then we did that, and luckily, on the day that we took off, we got the grant, right? Because we just kept saying, no, this people will understand what. Like, you don't know games. Games are through microphones. That's the best games. Those are the games where you talk to your mates.
True.
But yeah.
That's the battlefield times that you mentioned, right? When people use proximity chat and in-game chat and not Discord.
Yeah, I loved being Counter-Strike in the 1.6 days and having someone crazy screaming.
True. When
so
I always say this, that back then, at those times, toxicity were like a positive thing, right? Because they shouted at your mother, but then right after it, they become friends with you, right? But it's way different now.
I think for me, like, I grew up in the internet with the whole thing on Counter-Strike and like these things and these toxic things. I play League of Legends, so like I like when people write crazy things to me, I do not care. So for me, it's also a fun thing with. So we went into FCT with First Class Trouble, and like this, we tried to let's do all these things to save the world. And it is insane. Like, you cannot do those. Save the world from things. You can try to moderate and make sure that it's the best. But I think also at the end, I think it's my opinion that a lot of it is on the developer, but a lot of it is also on the user. This is the world that it is on the internet. This is just how it is. I don't know if it should be like this, but that's how it is. That's the reality of it. It is. People are super toxic online.
True. And they do not appreciate each other as they did like 10 years ago in video games. I remember, especially here in Hungary, I always tell this example of mine that like when I was in my early 20s, and we played video games with my friends, we appreciated when we met other Hungarian folks online. And nowadays, folks, if met other Hungarians online, they just shout at each other and tell them to mute themselves over the game chat, which is crazy, right? It's just 10 years and it changed so much, so it's so weird.
Yeah, I think it's the same here. I think also, like, I think So I think in the end, I had a lot of hard discussions with my co-founders. I was like, how do we moderate like first touch trouble? Like, and I kept saying like, if Steam does not moderate, like if the AAA does not moderate, why should it be on us? Like,
yes,
we're
why
like
this should do?
FCT, we're 10, 12 people. We cannot do it. Like, oh, so now we sat there and we started moderating people's usernames and all the things. But like Steam allows you to do anything in the world.
True.
So
and nobody cares about it, right? And nobody gives a fuck about it. Yeah.
Valve doesn't care. Like, I don't see anyone trying to cancel Valve for just allowing people to be called, like, what do they call, Hitler or whatever. Like, people can call themselves whatever they want to do, and that's just how it is.
Exactly.
And so I think when we came into FCT, we tried to take up that mantle, and we tried to do all these things, and I think we failed completely because it was an insane amount of battle to fight this thing. So I think we learned a lot for that. For neighbors, we just allow, like, I think there's maybe it's some educational thing, but we allow it to the players. The players can mute the other players. You don't like what it is, you mute the player. You don't want to play with them, you block them, you'll never hear the voice again. So I think that's the mentality we went into again. I think there's the tools are there for all the users normally in every game to just manage themselves. So I think I think that's what.
Very true. Yeah, it's
cannot save the world.
True, exactly. And like you said, I can totally relate to that, and I totally agree with you on that. The big companies do not give a shit about it, so everyone complains, but nobody gives a fuck about it to really change it. So it's crazy. That's people blame developers, although they cannot do anything about it, or they can, but it's like it's hard work, right? It's either you work on the game or it's either you work on the moderation. So it's like
I think, but also like the whole thing. Like I think we did like moderation, all the names, we did filters and all this stuff, and then on launch day, I remember like initially on one day, someone was called George Floyd, like, and then he was being choked on the thing. It's like, okay, how can you possibly, the goalposts are being moved constantly. Now we should, like, it's moderated, like we took a hard stand on everything. We banned so many people, but it's just an uphill battle. Like,
true. And like you said, the thing is that also, since it's a deep topic to talk about, is that it might be the most passionate players who are toxic about a game, right? Because they might have put the most hours into a game. It's just their behavior is bad and you cannot do anything about it. So it's either you like eliminate or alienate from your own game, which they maybe spend the most money and most hours in it, or you try to convince them. So it's hard. It's hard. It's a very hard
think
topic.
we also see it now, like in Neighbor Super Warfare, where it's more competitive based. Like we didn't set out to
I read about that. And I saw streams about it.
We don't want to make a competitive game. So, but that's also people who have played competitive have so many feelings about the game.
Yes.
So they're also very passionate about it. So, and that also spills into toxicity and these
into other games which might not be like that.
So I think that's a problem here. Like the definite.
It's a social problem, in my opinion. Like you said, it's not. It's not with the games.
No.
It's just a misunderstanding from the player's perspective, in my opinion.
And also culturally, people like, because sure in the US and in Europe we have sort of like certain, like this is how you behave online, but like the world is pretty big, and like just go further east, the culture is a little more toxic, a little more masculine, but that's how do you moderate the world? Like this is the norm for that. Like you're putting your culture onto other cultures. I think that's also something that's
true. Very true.
I think learning that, like, it's just words. It doesn't. They.
Yes.
It's terrible, but it'll not. It'll go over.
True. Very true. Yeah. I totally agree on that, and it's a very interesting topic to talk about. So thank you that you brought up this topic of toxicity and behaviors, people behaviors. Yeah.
we have so much of it. Like
Yeah.
I think at first there's trouble making a game where it's about lying. I think that socially
True. It shows how bad people are, right, these days.
Exactly. Like the reports that we get, like I was lying about this, but he got it. So it's like I'm like this. Fuck this guy. It is insane. So I think I think there is something where, like, if I'm a good social engineer, so I'll get you to trust me. We go for it just together, and then in the end, I backstab you. I think there are something that, like, inherently, like, breeds some toxicity, and that's just the game, the nature of the game.
Very true. You mentioned also the topic of creators' vision. So the next question will go influenced by this topic that you mentioned. How do you balance with your team? How do you balance to keep real and honest to your own vision and still listening to the players, since it's a social game, right? So both of your games, FCT and Neighbors, are social games, social-oriented games.
I think FCTU was very easy because that was sort of a lot of it was sort of like we were together, but like we did play a lot of these games. Like, it was a lot of our breakdowns. We did play a lot of like these social deduction games. I think that was something really interesting. So what we just needed to nail was getting the line down and the loop to those things. So I think that was easy for us to because that was like the games that we were playing. Like, this is how can we make this board game deception, like Battlestar Galactica feeling, into a video game. And I think that was easier. It took some time, but it was easier because we were very early studio, so it's very janky. Looking at the game now, it's super janky, but it's super fun. For Neighbors, it was it's more difficult because I think what we wanted to make a game that was sort of like, okay, it's pretty competitive, but like, let's try to make a game that can be played in between. You play Overwatch, now you're gonna play something else. Let's just play this for 10 minutes while we figure it out. That was the vibe we want to go for with Neighbors.
I see.
But then I think leading up to launch was like, it was too people. We kept getting feedback. It's too difficult to understand. There's too many things. So we removed a lot of things, like those gardening and growing things, and more. These in the game. There was capture the flag and different other game modes. But like, we kept getting feedback. People get into the game, they have what's called action paralysis. They don't know what to do. So they get in the game. It's like the shop has 50 things you can do. You can go everywhere in the world. So we stripped the way down in the end and just focused on making this very niche little competitive game, little competitive mode. And then of course it ended up being super competitive, because like now it's still, if you look at it as like objectively, this game is more difficult than Counter-Strike. Right, but it's so there's more min-maxing in this because there's more items, there's more things you can do.
You have to decide the player in a split second what to do and what to not do.
Exactly. So we have all the shooting that all Counter-Strike, we have all the things, but we also have all the items and the min-maxing the characters and the abilities. True. So min-maxing those things, if you're competitive players, you get a lot better than someone who's just going to play casual. And when you look in the game looks like a fun little Pixar indie fun Disney game, and then but which doesn't match with the vibe of this highly competitive game that is able to be min-maxed. So I think when we so the first 2 weeks we tried to listen a lot to the feedback, like, okay, balancing the game. But what we saw is that like our players were dropping off and off. And the game is not becoming more fun. Like it's not being more fun because we're listening to this balancing. And then we just took a step back from and looked at all the things that we sort of left behind. And trying to get to the end. And all we left behind was all of this, the game that you play in between the games, the cozy game. Like those things are sort of lost. It became much of this dedicated server, find a game, get a game, win a game. Like it's all about winning. It's not about playing, like having fun with your friends anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's so I think if we listen to our audience now, I think the player base now is highly competitive. Like, but I don't think that's not the game we want to create. Like, so what we're doing now is just doing every update we'll do is a measure for going towards having fun. Less about servers winning. It's about having fun, and you'll see that with the game modes that's coming up. It's more about having fun. Like I think a month into release, we really, it's like, okay, this min-max mode that's too hardcore. Let's get team deathmatch in. So we put that in like as soon as we could, just to make sure that it should not be this hardcore. And I think so. So for us now, it is a balance. Of course, we have this core group who likes the competitiveness of the game, but this is not what we want to create. So we're also just listening to ourselves mostly. So it's about maintaining this experience while working on what you actually think is fun for yourself as a game developer. Yeah, because what do we want to play? Like we sat down and on couches, all of us go, what do we want to play? And we decided we don't want to play this competitive game. We want to play something else.
True.
And so that's what we're doing.
True. You mentioned having gardening and other opportunities as players in the game. Would you like to go back to those possibilities to have in your game? Like, I assume those things got cut out from your game, right? If I understand it correctly.
Yeah. Like, so there was a whole gardening aspect. So you can go into there's a little greenery in the back. So you can plant in potatoes, and the potato will grant you a temporary buff.
Oh, okay.
Like when the plant grows, you'll get potatoes, and the potatoes will, like, maybe it'll give you 50% more damage in 30 seconds.
I see.
Right.
I see.
So that was sort of how it goes. But of course now, like, you're doing you're adding in more stuff for the players to figure out. So it was too confusing. I would love to add it back, but also maybe it was a different type of game at that point. It was more about, I think the history of the game is that it was started from first class trouble, like, oh, let's do a social game. I think it was first person even from the beginning. It was more about, like, there's 3 houses in the neighborhood, and the whole game was not about, like, shooting and fighting. It came from what we learned with first class trouble, what is fun, the social aspect, and was like, okay, what has not explored with social aspect? Because what we did, we were the sort of the first ones to, like, lying, like, what else is something social, but what love? So the first game started about creating 3 houses, but then making it 2 and 2 and 2, so husband and wife and wife and wife, or husband and husband, whatever you want to do, and then creating social dynamics where they have to build up houses together.
Oh, okay.
And then you could divorce each other and find another husband, and there was different things that incentives to divorce each other and find other things. So that was how the game started out. And for that, we built up a lot of, like, mechanics to build up your house with gardening and all this stuff.
I see.
I think the game is past that. I think
it's way different. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a different experience. I think this is. I think what it is now is way more polished and cooler. Has a possibility of adding in more things that be funnier for the players to use.
I see.
But that's how it started, and that's why gardening is there. It's just as a means to, you have to have the best looking house. How do you do that? You gardening, you cut the hedges,
nice.
Cut the grass, you do the dishes.
Those ideas sounds so cool. I want to see that in the future in the game. Wow. Okay.
Eventually, maybe in the future, but currently now it's just now we made a good base for expanding the game into being what we want it to be.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you think, by the way, online players have, like, too much voice nowadays when it comes to, like, having an opinion for video games, and they push their voice too much by which developers back out, and they rather back out with their vision and rather keep satisfying players. And I do. That's why I'm asking that. Do you believe in this?
I think so as well. I think there is. I think that now people are scared of being too woke. They're scared of not being woke enough. They're scared of like. I think if you make this game, and it's like, oh, we can be husband. Like I think, oh, how would that be for? Like, how would people think of this game? I think, I think that's just. And we just want to make games that's fun. And but I think also you're right. You have a tendency because the audience who are like FCT sold many 100,000 copies, and so did Neighbors, right? But the amount of people that's on our Discord, the amount of people that are on Twitch is the most passionate players of them all.
True.
So listening to those are also the most hardcore players and the most niche players. So it is very difficult from to just, they're right in many ways, but also sometimes they're not right.
True.
Because I think in terms of like FCT, and I see for Neighbors and FCT, like when people talk about metas, oh, this is the meta. Do you just
I hate that word. I can tell. I hate the word meta.
It's the worst because when we're doing it, like we want to do a party game, like you're gonna have fun with your friends, and you're doing. Like, what about the meta? The meta's not there because if you're playing with your friends, you decide what the rules are.
And the rules are. Yeah.
Why should I sit and decide the rules?
Sure.
I can give you the tools for you to create a fun.
Sure.
Then, so if you want to play 6 Doreen versus 1 Kevin, that can be your game. Sure. I should not be the one deciding what is the. You should not be able to do this.
Sure.
Just do whatever you want to do.
Sure.
So I think we have a very hard time. We're just trying to like focus away from these metas and establishing and balancing and making sure everything is rock, paper, scissors. Because for us, that is not fun. And I think
neither for the players in longer terms, in my opinion. No. I see that this like you mentioned, this the word meta, and also these core players holding others players' hand and telling them what to do, and streamers do that too, and media outlets do that too. Yeah. I feel like this whole scenery changed how players behave and act when it comes to form an opinion about video games, and it grow out to this huge problem. What you mentioned also, and I totally agree with that, is that like players have too much voice nowadays when it comes to form opinion about a game, and they always push back most of the developers. And if the developers want to listen, and they will have this fear, like you mentioned, that hey, our game might be woke, they might end up like losing their best ideas, which is crazy to me. Like, why? Like, you as a player should understand that these are creative people who are down on the road to make something positive, something creative, something fun, and you should not decide. It's like if you are buying a bread at the store, you are buying it and you are eating it, but you won't argue with the person who made the bread why this bread is not like that and not like this, right? It's the bread, and you will eat it or not. You should not buy it if you don't like it. So it's crazy for me to see that there are so many people who just tell bullshit opinions over the internet, even if it's about a Steam review or a stream or a video, and they form this whole scenery to this cancel culture era where people do not have fun anymore. Like, I want to have my fun, and I go online and I see all these people hating on the game that I love. What should I do as a player, right? Or you as a developer? Like, it's crazy, and they're pushing back these positive people like you and me, you as a developer, me as a player, to this corner like rats. I always say this, that we should be scared of them, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't. Like, it's your craft, and you have your own vision with your team. So that's what mostly matters.
We just want to make games that's fun, right? I think that's what we want to. That we just. People should just have a good time, and I think, and these narratives, I think, is always and it's just annoying because I have to deal. But the thing is, I have to deal with it. Like, I think over the years now, like we've been better to saying we don't really care. Like, I think, like there's some things we care about, but there's many things like, oh, this is a dumb thing. Let's not remove that. I think, like, I think inclusivity, like, oh, this is bad. Like, what are you talking about? Like, just why do you care?
True.
Like
true,
people
true.
are enjoying things.
True,
Like,
true.
yeah.
And people forget that like 10 years ago they had no like possibility to tell developers what to do or what to not, right? You just went to the store, bought the disc of a game or bought a copy of a game and you played it, and nobody had the option to like go online and say that, hey, you should do this, you should do that. There were no Discord servers, there were no connection with the developers, and now the better the connection went with developers and players, the worse it got for a lot of projects. And that's why I always say this, that all developers should listen rather to their vision rather than to players, because players might understand the game but might not understand the vision itself, and the vision matters more than the game. So because that's
and
how
I think that's why like we really have to filter what the information is getting. Because I think like on the other hand, like we are very grateful. Like we are insanely grateful for
it's understandable.
our big
Since
community,
people
right?
care, right?
They help us with testing. They give us the feedback. Like I every day, like Eric, our senior programmer, sits and listen to feedback, tests like ping pong with the players, and he gets it in. So it's super valuable. It's just a balance, because sometimes they like it. They don't understand what the end goal is.
Sure.
Because if we're talking about like, Mary Jean is in balance when she does this, but like if the goal is that balance is not a thing we care about, then the metric is just like, then I think we've been better now to just saying balance is not a metric for us. This is not a metric for us. Like fun is the metric. Like player choice. That they have fun in the moment and engaged, and they like that's our metrics.
Sure.
Not that every character wins 50% of the times. You have we strive for a matchmaker that gives you 50% lose-win chance. Like that's not our metric. Our metric should be: you want to make a game, you do the rules, you decide when you're having fun, and if you're not having fun, do some new rules.
True, very true, very true, very true. Let's move back to the personal question ground. I believe in this statement of mine that all creators who create our own craft, we tend to put our inner self into the craft we make, even if it's about experiencing loss, love, positive or negative things in our life. Is this statement of mine true for your work as a video game developer when you make games with your team? And if your answer is yes, what personal connections with your games could you name? Could you bring us to the table? What examples could you tell us?
Yeah, I think for Neighbors, it was just like good. We wanted good vibes, right? We wanted good vibes in the game. But I think we try to just what we do is that we try to, of course, there's a grand vision of the thing, but I think also our team members, every member of the team has something that they're passionate about, right? If a person like turrets, maybe the game should have turrets in it. Like I think you see there's turrets in there all of our games. I put my dog in the game.
Yeah.
Like, in all our games, my dog is in the game. She's now one of the main mascots of the game, and that's just because I think it's fun. And she's at the office, so she's tied to other people.
Very true, very true.
And you can see there's Easter eggs in all of the games. We try to just people can do whatever they want to do. I think there's no definitive vision. I think that's what works for us, is that, well, there is a vision, but like there's leeway in that to just be creative yourselves.
True.
But,
not to limit yourself in a box, right?
Nah, I don't know if that answers the question completely, but I think
it does. Yeah.
But I think in general, like we try to just put as much as our personality into it.
I see.
And I think we just try to be a little different. Sometimes it's a little bit too different, but
it's not the best thing in my opinion. That's how your games are unique. FCT and Neighbors, in my opinion. That's how people like, oh, hey, it's a unique game. I remember when, like, my friends and my community, I streamed the first trailer of Neighbors. They were like, hey, it's something different. You can see the vibes of the people who made the first Less Trouble. I remember my friends speaking to them after seeing the trailer, and they were like, hey, we need this game. Like, I was like, we're going to play this, So it really shows that the meaning of fun was always there. Like you mentioned, the Battlefield era and the Basement era with your brother, so it was always there. And now making games,
I think, and we also like, but I think what most carries over into the game is that like we've been together, like the core team, we've been together for 10 years, right? So we've been together for so many years. So we are all amazingly good friends. It's not like I don't. It might sound corny, but like we become friends at the office. I think that's super important because then it matters a little bit more.
True.
And then it's also dangerous because we're so good friends. So when we, especially here with the like First Class Trouble and Neighbors, when we play it, we play it completely different. I remember like I was playing with a large publisher, and they were saying, "Yeah, okay, we are having fun, but it's not. But we're not really. We're just a little confused. Maybe you want to play with us." And then we played with them, and they're all like, "Oh, this is such a different experience because now it's so much fun." Right, because we scream and yell at each other, and we call each other names, and we sit and we have we play the way it's like as it's not like a work environment. We sit and we just have fun. So I think, and I think what many publishers does is like, oh, I sit as a publisher and I have to evaluate this product. So I sit there and I check box. Okay, this works. This works.
The boring way, yeah.
Yeah. But I think also, but the scary thing is that I think where we missed the mark with Neighbors is that people play it competitively, and we do not play it competitively. Like we stand and look at we're one hit away from the bet, and we won the game. We just leave, and then we do something else. Like that's how we play. So I think that's sort of skewed the game quite a bit, right? Because there's these min-maxing things where you can just go kill the 4 things you've done with the game, and where we played it, we stopped at halfway, and then we're just trying to snipe each other from the trees instead. So it's so yeah. That in that case we should need more like external, and that we rely a little bit more of the players.
True. I have one question going back to First Class Trouble, by the way. It might be a spoiler time, so if you don't want to answer this question, it's fine. So I was reading a lot about like First Class Trouble, whether there will be updates or no, and can you tell us more about whether your guys are going to back to make more updates, even new maps or skins to First Class Trouble?
I don't know if
it's a spoiler time.
No, I don't know if you. I think we've explained the story many times of what happened with First Class Trouble, but of course we sat and we worked in it for 2 years in our basements, and working on the game every day, and then it was like December of 2019 or something, like late 2019. We're out of money. I like, cool. But we have a good game. That's a good core loop. I think we already did a lot of like public tests on our Discord with the users. They really loved it. I think many of the members who are still playing today were part of the initial testers of the game. And so we played it, and they're like, we're out of money. Okay, so it was like, okay, we can look for. So we had a publisher in line. It's like, okay, do we want to do this, or we want to just do early access, get it out there? And I think it was like, okay, but if you get a publisher, we can make it look a little prettier, and we can get out in April instead. And I think in the end, like we voted on it internally in the team, and I think vote-wise, we decided to release it in December. But then we didn't do it because like people were very vocal, so we listened to the minority. It's like, if we're not all in it together to just suffer for this early access, let's get a publisher on board and do this. And then that's when we landed on versus Evil publisher. I don't know how much detail I can go, but we started working with the versus Evil. We got the game out on early access. It was a pretty good deal. It was pretty well reviewed. People really liked the game. And then we talked to Sony, And they were also like, "This is a cool game. We have a spot for you in December." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So we could go. We can go on the PlayStation Plus as their monthly game, which is an amazing opportunity. Normally, it's like only AAA games who does this, but we got a spot there because our game was
I remember that
super good. Yeah, so we worked insanely hard. We killed ourselves reaching the 1.0. Just 2 updates a week. It was fucking
I remember
insane.
those times. Yeah,
Maps and things, and we got it out there, and we killed ourselves, and it was the game was just selling okay on Steam, right? But it was people loved it, and we loved talking with the community, just playing the game with our community, and then we did the Steam, worked ourselves to death, and then like we're starting. Okay, now it's 1.0. Now we're doing updates, and then no money really never came from our publisher. Like it was just so. We worked our hard to get it. Like we got our money to do the early access, and then when that was gone, we sort of just we did the PlayStation deal, we never got any. We never really got any royalties and revenue. So, and then we said to either you pay us for us working on the game, or we're just not gonna work on it because you have it's your rights. Like they bought the rights and the license for the game. So and there's like, no, we're not gonna pay you. I was like, okay, then fuck it. And then we left, and that's why it hasn't been updated in 4 years. It's because we never got any money. Because like my responsibility is always with the people I work with.
True.
So
it's like your second family, we could say, right?
Exactly. So it is. Let's do Neighbors. Let's do next game. Let's get funding. Let's make sure that everyone keeps a job. Everyone has something. Like get some. Yeah. Because this is fucking sucked. So we left. First as Trouble. We didn't touch any of it at all. The deal is that the license, the rights for First Class Trouble reverts to us in October of 2025. That's how the contract is. And I think our goal is to, when nearing that date, is to make sure that there is that we will take it over and make sure that it is something again.
I see.
But for now, there's like there's no definitive rules. I think it will not die. The game is running on dedicated server. It costs a lot of money to run every month. So it's not really generating any revenue, but there is still 20,000 players every month that plays it. So it's still very passionate players.
True, very true. We play on a weekly basis as well. That's why I said. That's why I was curious whether there will be new updates or not, because we are looking.
I think would love to do an update. Yeah. I think nothing has been decided yet. I think it all is. For now, it's 4 years since we've done it. Now it's all economics. Like for me, it's about.
It's understandable, yeah.
I want the players that plays it now to continue playing it, but it also has to be sustainable. So it cannot be too much of a deficit for us to run it. But so I think internally we thought about like. I don't know, maybe you can answer this. If you run more of First Class Trouble, if you run First Class Trouble 2, I think that's sort of where we are in our mindset.
Oh, it's a good question.
To make a remaster, like we can just make First Class Trouble.
I would love to see a physical edition, first of all, both of your games, Neighbors, because I'm a fan of physical editions. I know that. I know it's a social and multiplayer game, but it would make sense for me to have a disc version. But as regarding to your question, more updates or remaster or remake or second one, I don't know. It's a hard
one. I think that's sort of where we are as well, right? Because people love the game. Like people love First Class Trouble.
But maybe a fresh start would be the best, right? In my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very
a hard question. It's a very hard question.
It's very clunky. We learned so much about that.
But we love being clunky in the game, to be honest. It never bothered us as players.
I think, but it has to make sense. I think for
it's fun, right? It's slow. You cannot run that fast. It's fun.
Yeah, I think there's something, but I think sometimes there's something that could be better, like the small gameplay mechanics, the amount of glitches and things you can do. These things we could remove those things.
I see.
But so it's all so I think that's sort of where we are now. What we don't know what we want to do. Do we want to maintain? There's still a few 100,000 wish listers on the game that hasn't bought First Class Trouble yet, right? And it still sells okay whenever we do a sale, so it's fine. So that's where we are now. I think we will not die. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's for sure because, like I said, there's so many players. It's very easy to find a lobby, even nowadays. Yeah. So that's why I said that.
Yeah, I'm very sad that we left it. Like the time when we left it was Christmas. And
yeah,
so
I remember that. Yeah,
it's perpetual Christmas.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we were waiting for a new update at Christmas time, and there was no updates anymore. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But I think that's sort of. I can't go into too many of the specifics because
it's understandable.
It's all legal things.
Yeah.
But
thank you, by the way, for your honesty about this topic too. Thank you.
We'd love to do any things, but if they've given us, if they just said, let's split half 50-50, then it'll be fine. But that was not they didn't want that. Yeah. It could have been so much better if that was the case.
Yeah, it's a sad thing to hear.
Yeah,
it's also true. It's also a very hard question what to choose, whether to update or the second version or second.
Yeah, and then our old publisher was bought up by another publisher, Tiny Build, right? So Versus Evil was bought by Tiny Build. So I think we had a lot of responsibility and love for First Class Trouble. Versus Evil had some love for First Class Trouble. Tiny Build has little love for First Class Trouble, right? So I think in that case, it's
they downgraded the love, we could say.
It's all for them. It's more like I think they're not doing it to be evil. It's just like this is financial.
Yeah, it's understandable.
New games is more profitable.
Yeah. I cannot wait, by the way, for what will happen to that game as well. Moving to Neighbors, by the way, are you guys planning to release it to other platforms as well? It's also a spoiler-oriented question. I know if you don't want to answer, of course, it's fine.
I would love to get it. I think we did the whole game.
I'm more of a PlayStation guy, that's why I'm asking. I play it on PC, but I'm more of a PlayStation guy, so...
We made Neighbors with console in mind, with all the learnings we did for FTT. Like this is how the UI has to be set up. It has to be I think the controls can still be better for a controller, but at least we kept it in mind. So I think our goal is always to put it on console.
I see.
It depends. Like currently, so I think this had because it's considered now as a PvP game. If you look at all the PvP games, this is sort of the curve for all PvP games, right? And I think the problem with Neighbors itself is that if you play Neighbors a lot, you will not necessarily be better at Call of Duty. But if you play Call of Duty a lot, you'll be better at Battlefield. You'll be better at Counter-Strike. You'll be better at all the skill transfers between the games.
True.
But Neighbors, it's just you'll not be better at Overwatch because of Neighbors.
True.
Based. It's different. So I think the future of Neighbors decides on if we are successful in correctly pivoting the game into this party game with your friends. Players are hosting their own servers and just deciding what they want to play, and we giving them more tools and more tools and more tools and more maps and more things. If that is successful, then a console thing would happen.
I see.
I think otherwise, I think it's hard to judge.
I see.
Yeah.
Moving back to the personal questions, to my question topics, how have you changed as a person in other territories of your own life by being a game developer for so many years? Were there any changes in your life in other territories of your own life from being a game developer?
I think I've never been as stressed as I am now. I think when I talk to my friends who work, Denmark is a very big pharmaceutical country, not a big company, and when I talk to how their life, what they do as a work when they work for the government, work for these big companies or whatever, they have no impact on anything, and I think so. I'm for me, when I'm looking how the game is like, how this. I'm just very grateful that like every day I can go to work and I have a direct impact on a lot of people's work, the game, the things I can like. I think you can. I think that's super valuable. That what you do is present. I get less and less so now that I'm a CEO, right? But like before when I was a producer and I was 3D artist, putting things in the game, just updating the game was so cool. But yeah, I'm still grateful like that it touches thousands of people's life when you do an update and we do things. So getting that feedback back is super cool. And it's very rewarding going to work with players, like with people who are as passionate as you are about doing the things, right? It's not just a job. It's also something that they're proud of doing it.
True. It's more just than a job, you could say. So, like you mentioned,
Yeah, but I work too much. I think I have to. Yeah, that's just how it is.
I see. Would you like to go back to the creative process itself, like you mentioned?
Every day I say this to myself. Like,
what stops you, by the way?
I just have to find a CEO, I guess. I do.
That's the hardest part, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I love making stuff. I love because as I said earlier, right? I've been a 3D artist. I've been a QA. I've been marketing. I've been the operations of level design. Like I've done all of the things, and now I manage all of the other. Now I just manage the things, right? It's hard. Like I have some say in the design and stuff, but it's less and less so. It's not so I would love to go back to that, but maybe it's a case of grass is always greener on the other side, right?
True. Yeah, exactly.
But I miss it.
I can understand it. Yeah. Since, by the way, you are working in a team with your friends, with a second family, do you believe in perfect synergy between team members, or is it something that's developing out through the process of working together, or it's the mix of both? How do you feel about it?
I think there is this. I think maybe we've been very lucky in our team, but I think there are sometimes a job is a job, and people go to jobs because that you get money and that's fine, right? You go to get money, and I think in our case, not a lot of people have that. Because the game industry in Denmark is notoriously underpaid. So if you decide to do this is because it's your passion. It's not because you're going to earn money on it, right? We never really earned a lot of money on anything, right? But so it's only now that we're part of a bigger family that can actually give people proper wages so that to actually do what they deserve. So to go back to the question, so I don't know. I guess when we hire people because of their qualifications, but I think a lot of it is also vibes. And I think those vibes are like whenever I get someone who applies for a job, and it's like, okay, first of all, I always say you have to beware. Like this is a Danish company, so like we are sarcastic. We can drink beer at 2:00 in the afternoon. That's fine. That's sort of the mentality. So it's like but also we are very friendly and nice to each other, and this is how we work, and people have to be aware of that. And people's like, oh, this is cool. This is the vibe I would like to get. So try to be upfront about what the vibe is here at the company, so that they have to decide it, and it's not based on like this is the work you've been doing.
Yeah.
You're a good character artist, you'll do this, but also this is how we together work. Like we go out on a Friday to for beers and drinks. A few weeks ago, we were at the medieval center in southern Denmark, and were nights for the day. I think that was pretty fun. So we're doing these funny things, and I think we're so I think hopefully, but as the company, it shows as a company, and that's why people apply. That we're notorious for the best like Halloween party in the city. So
I see. What about the future, by the way, for you and your team? What kind of games would you like to make in the future? Do you have any plans for any new games? Of course, it's a spoiler time, so like I mentioned.
I think we'll do more. Well, I think the roots of the I think the Neighbors, I think was too big of a game for us.
I see.
Not now what we're trying to make it now, but what it was meant to be, like this competitive game that was fighting against Overwatch. I think that really broke us.
I see.
So that's not what we. So I think we're gonna take a step back and look more for FCT, like social games, like experiences. The games that we play at the office on a Friday afternoon together. Those are the games we want to create. So,
True.
Currently
to give that feeling to the players' hands, right?
Yeah, currently we play a lot of Deep Rock Galactic every week, right? And that's super fun. Mining away. And we played a lot of Lethal Company, and like these games that pushes the social games in other ways that FCT didn't do, right? So I think Peak is pretty fun with big content warning. Those games for us is super fun. So I think there is a space where the polish of Neighbors and these indie darlings, where there's something in the middle. Maybe there could be a game that's cool to make.
I see.
I think that's all where we want to go.
I see. Okay. Before I ask some more questions, are you down on the line to answer some questions from my chat as well?
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, do you hear me now?
Yeah, you're fine. I think maybe it sometimes cuts out if you're too loud. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So are you down to answer some questions from the chat before I ask some more questions?
100%. Yeah.
Thank you.
Whatever chat is saying, I'm down for anything.
Thank you.
I think also notoriously, like on Discord and whatever, like in the community, people can ask me anything. I'll give my opinion. If I can legally say it, I will give my opinion on it.
Okay, so anyone who has any question in the chat, let us know, ladies and gentlemen, let us know. Let me read back the chat. Hölgyek, urak, hogyha bármilyen kérdés van, kérdezzetek nyugodtan. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen, if there is any question. Let us know.
But generally, I think we're just currently now we're just focusing on Neighbors. We are deciding what to do with First Class Trouble, and then, as always, doing a little bit of prototyping for other fun experiences.
Do you guys, by the way, already have like ideas for other games? I'm assuming you do, but
yeah, we have tons of ideas.
How do you choose between all those ideas? How do you choose?
I think internally, what we did this time around, which we haven't done, is that we we invited every member of the team to write to pitch some ideas that we do. And then of course they would be directors of it, right? So we took in some ideas. I guess it comes back to before, like a long time ago, we sat down and it's like we dissected Neighbors and it's like, okay, what went wrong, when we right, what we're happy about, what we're not happy about. And then I think it became very clear what kind of experience we enjoy as players.
True.
And then we invited for people to make the pitches, and it became very clear that these games, which is basically the games we play every Friday afternoons, are the games that we want to create. Like the games that I think also that was the main meaning for First Class Trouble in the beginning, was like, First Class Trouble was a fun social game. You played a little bit, right? It's not something you played for 6 hours. You played it for an hour or so, and then you played it in between other things. And I think those are the core fun experiences that we want to create as well for the next one.
True. It's interesting, by the way, because we used to play it and we still play it on a weekly, and we always like set up a date and time for 2 or 3 hours for First Class Trouble, and that's how we play it. So it's interesting that you mentioned that with your team you do that, because we do that in my community too with First Class Trouble. Yeah, these games are so fun for these experiences, right? So
why is it you still why is it you still play the game so many years with our updates? I think that's also interesting for me to know.
I think because It made our community even better. We play community-oriented games, which like, how to say it in English, like which is a glue for us. Like it sticks us together even more. And since it requires us lying and having fun, it opens up this bubble that everyone has, right? Of course, we are like a second family to each other, so it's not like we are newcomers to each other. But it also like, since we have to lie, like you mentioned in First Class Trouble, it opens up this whole bubble and throws away, and we just have to be honest or lying to each other, and it's fun. It's fun, basically.
And you play to have fun, not necessarily to win, right?
No, we played for fun, and when we played Neighbors with my friends, it was sometimes so annoying to see that there are so many toxic like enemies who just go rush you within like 5 minutes and you cannot do anything. It's not that we are not competitive players, because we do play competitive games. It's just, I don't know, it's if you look at the graphics of the game, it doesn't tell you that, hey, you have to rush, right? It's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's fun, the whole concept.
I think it's like this whole min-maxing of like, okay, if I can end 10 games in 2 minutes, then I can get more points and more points.
True.
It is not.
And also, it's like you could play it a way more tactical, like a methodical way, but people rush it. I remember like playing against a team with my friends, and we get matched against this team who just set up like 10 turrets in front of our house, and they just rushed down the whole like house of ours and us, and we couldn't do anything. Like, we were like, hey, what's happening, like we're not ready for this. It was crazy. It was also a fun experience to see that there are so many different skill gaps in the game. It's just like, like you mentioned, it wasn't always fun, not because of the game is not fun, but as the players play it, it's not fun. So it's interesting. This topic of like, it's not the game which is not fun, but the players make it feel not fun, right? So
exactly, because we have so much fun playing it. True, but it's just I think when we played it, like when I see like videos on Discord, they can basically stun lock people to death and just kill them. So it's like there's no little skill in for it, but the other player would just hate that, right? So why would you do that? Like, and I think also we saw in the beginning, like there was a whole, you lost the resource battle fight, and then people just quit because then there's no coming back. It's like, I'll just get a new game, min-max them again.
But that's not about the games, it's players' mentality. I feel like that ties up to the topic that we talked about earlier, is that nowadays players, I always joke with this, and I think it's also true that I call them trend gamers. Nowadays gamers, I feel like they are not the casual mixed hardcore players like you and me used to be. Like, we enjoyed games for fun, and also we were on the road to develop our skills to be better at it. But they just want like a very quick experience, like TikTok, right? They just scroll down and it's an instant experience, and they want this from games, which is crazy to me, because like I don't know. It's sad, because like that's how they end up not understanding the game, but blaming the developers that this game sucks or this game is not fun. But it's not true, right? You have to understand the game. The games are made, especially multiplayer games, are made to develop your skills and learn and be educated, even if like it's not pushing into your face that, hey, you have to be better. But if you want the whole experience, you have to be better, right? To go forward with the game. So I don't understand a lot of players nowadays. Like you mentioned, they quit. It's so annoying. Like, I remember the Battlefield 3 times. I had a match where like there was a ticket system. I am sure that you remember in Battlefield games, and we had like 60 tickets, and the other team had like 600 tickets, and we sat down for like 2 hours straight, and we won that match. And it was 2 hours of grinding and being there and communicating with each other, and it was such a great experience. We still memorize those like memories, and we cherish those memories even back then with my friends, that we could win by not giving up. And nowadays players, I feel like they just instantly want to win like
get out.
Exactly.
I think our number one, like one of our number one requested features is punishing people who leave the game.
Yeah,
and I think for us
that should be a thing in every game, in my opinion. By the way,
I don't know. I think our game looks and feels so casual. it should not be that case. It should
True,
be
true,
you should be rewarded for continuing.
It's like a cartoon, right? With which you have fun at Saturday or Sunday watching on the TV. Like the whole graphic around, the whole art style of the game shows that it's like fun. You don't have to like be aggressive and to kill each other in the game. It's just
so for
fun.
me, it's for me we don't want to do that. But maybe when we what we're talking about maybe is we like reward players for like if you get a match as like the more matches you finish the multiplier for your experience will exchange with that. So reward the players for staying, but like but that's for the competitive side. That's what they want, right? People to not leave. But I think the game is not that. So
true.
I don't think that will come.
True. It's a hard topic, yeah. Oh, Minnie has a question. Let me go back to the chat. She's saying, let me translate it from Hungarian. She said that both games are such awesome games, FCT and Neighbors as well. Let me read. Oh, okay. So it's a very funny thing that she wrote. So she is a woman and also like a neighbor, let's say. She is thankful that at least once or twice husbands can like use kitchen tools in your game, if not in real life.
I think also people got so angry with that, right? The chat was the one who was doing the cooking. It was like, what are you talking about? Like, I do my cooking. Like, it's so weird. People were so angry about that. We just put it a little bit on the side. A good old chat. Yeah.
It's true. Thank you for that, Minnie. Thank you.
And also I think one thing I was very grateful about with First House Trouble is I think the player base is roughly 20-25% of the players are female.
Okay.
Like are women, which I think is super insane for any game to be that. So I think we did something like where like it is not necessarily how fast you can click with the mouse, because I think also there's some social skills that counted. So I think that games like First House Trouble, Among Us, and these things allows for more experiences.
True. And like you mentioned, it's the thing that not a lot of games, not a lot of multiplayer games or story-oriented games have, that they can be opened up to everyone. Like because there is saying which I think is true, that if you open up a game to everyone, it will end up to no one. But there are examples like yours, and I always name Fortnite as another example, is that if you make games like First House Trouble and Fortnite, it can be for everyone if you do it right? It's just you have to understand that why it would be such a fun experience to everyone. And that's what we liked about and loved about First House Trouble. And remember, like, my friends not playing any social deduction game, but they saw the art style of First House Trouble on my stream, and they was like, hey, what's this game? What's this about? And they were like, hi, then it's unique. And I feel like that's why we're still playing this game till this day, because like it's unique. It's unique. There are so many social deduction games, but I remember like I played a lot of them, but none of those catched me for long term. Like you mentioned, they catch me like for 1 or 2 weeks or 1 or 2 months, but they weren't like, just how to say it. It's like for us, it's like a family experience now, So it's like
I think that's the fun thing, how the game has because it's been for these 4 years without any updates, but there's these very passionate user base.
True.
Really, it's like a family of friends.
True.
When I talk to a lot of users, a lot of players, to say, this is where my friends are. They play First House Trouble. This is where I met my friends. Which is so cool. And there's several people has been married by like meeting in the game, right? So I think that's super cool.
Okay.
You know this, right? There's a wedding pact, which is basically like the actual couple who met in First House Trouble.
Okay.
So, but this has multiple couples who met in the game, which is super fun.
True.
And I think that's just the voice chat who does that.
True. That shows how passionate players are. Yeah.
That's super. I think that's super cool.
Very true. Okay, there is a question from Minnie as well, by the way. She doesn't know if it was a question or not. But are you guys planning to, like, for FCT or for neighbors as well, to have events when players can achieve any like customization options like skins? She means it like for Halloween, Christmas, and other seasons.
Yeah, I think definitely we're gonna do something for that. Maybe we'll do some. I think what we did a lot for FT was like Twitch drops. Maybe we'll do the same for that. So ways. I don't think we don't have the systems in order to. Well, we can make the systems for like events and stuff to happen. But like we can do Twitch drops, and we can also just give people things. Of course, that's also an option. But yeah, definitely things. More seasons, more things will come. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. My question. I don't know if, no, go for it. Go for it. Sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be cool to reward, like, do challenges and things. I think first of all, what we'll do is add in more Steam achievements. I don't think we're enough Steam achievements.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Is that could it be the possibility to have challenges as to award players not just for like gaining skins, but it would help you guys going back on to that original route to have not that competitive feeling, but a more fun feeling, more casual feeling for the game, like to have challenges.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Yeah, I think also to be yes 100%. More challenges, more, but also like achievements to sort of explain to players things they can do. Like instead of doing a tutorial, like some achievement. How do I get this achievement? Okay, I can do this. Oh, I never knew this was a thing. In terms of like, I think we want players with skins, but I think also because we have to have a sustainable income for the game, but it's not selling super well. So it's just like we're worried about. I think we have a nice distinction of what is earned in the game, which is like. Which is houses and houses, perks and things like that. And skins is a DLC add-on. So I think we're also aware of keeping those distinctions pretty clear. Even though I think that maybe people should say that that's sort of that's predatory, but I think that's just nature of the game. Our game is $10. Now you can buy it for $5, right? So for us, it's very important that there are the distinction. This is skins is something you buy, and all the other things influence gameplay and stuff. This is something you earn.
True. It's again about understanding what you can do in a game, like we talked about it before. That skin is an additional thing to have, and it's not that important.
And I think for us, it's just like it's important to tell the players what like. Our game is so cheap, and we've worked on it for 2.5 years, right? There's a cost associated with it, so we can't just give things away for free.
By the way, I was even shocked when you guys started to sell it for $10, because I would pay even more, even the double of it. Like I think it's like, way cheaper than it has, even for early access. Like there's so many games which like have way less like quality content in it, and they sell it for $20 and $30 at launch.
I think it is also too. It's too cheap. Like the labor of love in this game is too much. I think our goal is to raise the price over the early access. I think that's, to be frank, that's what we want to do, because otherwise it's not sustainable. But of course but it needs to have the game modes that supports it. It has to has a player base that like, okay, this is what it is, right? It has to be self-sustaining, which it is not now, but it will be.
I'm sure. FCT made it, so this game will too. And I hope gardening will come back. I'm still thinking of gardening that you mentioned at the very beginning.
I think
it sounds so nice. Cool. Like
gardening would be cool for a game mode with gardening with like extensive so you go eat a carrot, then you have double jump.
Even a game mode where you had to like build a garden. Yes. And you would have to also protect it, right? So it will be a very like longer experience, not just to destroy, but to build, right? So it would be a longer thing to do.
Yeah, I think we want to do so much. I think for like we can do social deduction take that into Neighbors, right?
Like
Make
it has so
prop
much
hunt,
potential to have so many things in it. Yeah.
Yeah, King of the Hill, prop hunt.
True.
What can we do else?
Capture the flag, like you mentioned. Yeah.
Capture the flag. Yeah.
Or tower defense or anything. Yeah.
10 cabins versus 1 mega doreen.
Yeah, exactly. I
think that those are the
I'm looking forward for the future of Neighbors and First Less Trouble too, man.
Yeah.
Any plans, by the way, for merch? I know we talked about physical editions. Merch?
We do have some merch. We have some T-shirts and some stuff and stuff.
Oh,
but
really?
I think we just made it for the office for itself.
Oh,
just
okay.
like as a internal thing. Is this something we would like to do? We do have some keychains. We do have some Doreen socks. Maybe I'll just find some Doreen socks.
Okay.
Those are pretty fun.
Okay.
So these are Doreen socks. I think this is the most these are pretty fun.
Wow. Okay.
This is Neighbors and Butterman.
Love it.
But we just made it for like it was a Christmas gift. But maybe we should make something out of this. But yeah, I think merch would be fun to make.
True.
I know. Remember we did a beer for First Class Trouble.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it was a pain. I think when we made it was I think it was Nils' idea, and it's also like, this was amazing. I opened the little store on the website. We sold the beers, and we sold a lot of them. And then me spending so many days at Nils' place packing the boxes. And also because you cannot just send beer around in the world. Like you cannot send alcohol to different places. So it was such a pain. It's like, this is but these sort of things, I think that's fun. It's just like as a small company, let's see if someone wants this and do that. So I think
it also shows, like you mentioned, how passionate players are, that they are down to buy these things to have at their home. Yeah. So
maybe we'll open a little store and see if there's anyone who wants to buy a hoodie or something for FCT or for Neighbors.
I see.
I think that would be fun.
I see. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen, by the way? Any more questions? Let us know. Any more questions? Bármilyen kérdés? Any more questions? Let us know.
What do you want from what's the number one requested First Class Trouble feature? Is that more maps, or is that because I think
I'm a map guy. For me, I was always a map guy, to be honest. Sorry for interrupting you. As it comes to multiplayer games, we actually, by the way, made the list with my friends of possible modes and possible tools for the game. So if you want, I can send it over to you and you can take a look.
Free to go. What I always for me, I think maps was always as we saw when we put out a new map, it was played for a little bit and then was it was the same experience core. It's the cool. For me, personally, they're cool for the first 2 weeks, but it doesn't really change.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I think our biggest update was when we added in custom settings. I think those expanding of those things, I think was one of the better things we did. I would love to add in more roles. I think more players. Make it 10, make it 12 players.
Yeah, more players would be fun as well. Yeah.
More players, make it able to be. If you're only 4, you can play at 4. But then just
also more tasks.
More tasks. But also, I'm making some roles, taking inspiration from other social deduction games. Maybe someone is
By the way, what I wanted to also say is that I forgot this. I myself, I work as a human being. When I want to talk about everything, I forgot most of the topics that I wanted to talk about. So sorry for that. So when you ask me why we still play it, it's because of the tasks as well. Tasks are so unique. When you have to guess with your pair, with your friend who is staying next to you, what symbols do they have, and you have. It's so awesome. It's unique, right? None of the social deduction games that we played other than FCT had this idea, and it's unique. Come on, it's crazy good.
We have some fun ones. I've seen the old. We have some prototypes of the. I think it can be seen in one of the videos where we're someone is driving a crane over a person, and it's blocking off, so the players have to follow along underneath the crane that have a like shield on top of it and the guiding ray. So these things went very complicated. So we have some cool things as well that we never put in because it was maybe we were too difficult. So that was why it was.
I see.
These are the ones.
I see. You know what's interesting, by the way, that we talked about, like the fact that nowadays players are not down on the roads to learn the games, what they are for and how they should be played, right? Yeah. But it's interesting that for your guys' first game, First as Trouble, they were down on the road to learn it, but for Neighbors they did not, or most of them did not. It's such a different experience, right? To see that for FCT they were down to learn it, but for Neighbors they went in a more competitive way. It's weird for me, right? That
I think it's because it is like in First as Trouble, of course you're personal versus residents, but in reality you're 6 people together.
I see.
Right, so it's a cooperative game.
True.
It's a co-op game.
True.
But there just happen to be.
And there are also limitations, so you cannot kill other people, right? So
in Neighbors, it's purely competitive, right?
True.
And it just drives most of the people are not very competitive. They just chill. And I think the competitive players scares them away.
True.
Whereas in First as Trouble, I think there are some misogyny and stuff that scares a lot of people away, like in First as Trouble, because people are also again very passionate. But I think so. But that's different because that's a minority.
True.
Where Neighbors, the majority, half of them are competitive, right? So it's easier to have a bad experience.
True. And in FCT, in my opinion, more people are playing the game itself with pre-made lobbies, right? So and when it comes to Neighbors, it's like you can meet more random people playing the game without a team. Yeah.
I think we're thinking about just like scrapping the whole dedicated thing, relying on just listen server with inviting only, and then just having a little feature instead. Maybe that would be cooler. I think that's something, but I think that's sort of in the future at one point.
I see. What would be, by the way, I believe that all creators have their own message that they always wanted to give with their creations when it comes to games, of course, in your work. What was the message that you always wanted to give for the players with your games? If it's different for First as Trouble and Neighbors, of course, I'm listening to both. What message was there always in your mind that you wanted to give for the players' hands or minds?
I know for First as Trouble, I really just wanted that feeling that I get when I play. I don't know if you know the board game Battlestar Galactica.
I heard about it, but I haven't played it.
But that feeling of playing together and then being backstabbed, like that feeling, I just wanted to be in a game. I think that's sort of such a cool mechanic that someone you trust all the way can be the opposite one. I think that was like these. That was always cool. I think when there was a game, there was a Resident Evil Online, which was super cool, where you were sort of like those 4 players, and you can sort of see where the others were walking, but not necessarily interact with them, but they were taken away from each other. There was some cool things. I think the message, I guess, for First as Trouble was just like by building a connection and then severing that connection and just making that into a gameplay mechanic, I think is pretty fun. For Neighbors, I guess it's just about having fun. I think that was the message. Just have a chill game, like give people the tools to do things. We're not there yet, but I think that's overall that's the goal. Give people the tools to have fun.
I see. Before I go into some closing questions, is there any topic that we might not ended up talking about, or we might not touched, and you would like to talk about?
I don't know. I think we talked about all of it. Like, I think, yeah. I don't know. Not on top of my head. I can think of anything. There's probably tons of things. I can talk forever.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let me know if you do.
Yeah.
So, with all that knowledge in your bag now as a game developer and as a CEO and co-founder of Invisible Walls, what advice do you have for other developers?
Oh, yeah. I think it's hard to say as a developer now, because I think the industry is so toxic. Like games, like it's so hard to make games, and on one hand, it's never been easier to make a game. But on the other hand, it's never been harder to earn money making a game. So I think if you're a new developer, you just have to figure out, is this what you want to do? Because as I said, we were unemployed for so many years, just working on the game, writing it, and just living on whatever we could find. So I think it's just a matter of, is this really what you do? Sure. I think there's a lot of creative things in it, but I think also it's super rewarding to build something up with your players. That is, well, it's hard to see in a normal, like a 9-to-5 desktop job.
True.
I think a lot of I guess musicians and other artists say it, but like seeing someone enjoy what you do is super rewarding. So I think, so if you wanted, I think what always helped us was building the Discord and like having the audience with you all the way.
True.
I think it was, if we had some painful problems with our publisher and stuff, with First Class Trouble, and making sure that Invisible Walls and making neighbors and making sure that we're all together, I think is still something that's a little hard to do. But I think that's very valuable to just make sure you build an audience to have someone that will help you, because it's just super rewarding.
And like you said, it sticks with you. So I remember when you guys did a post about that First Class Trouble won't have any new updates soon. They sticks with the game, like you mentioned. They posted new pictures, new gameplay scenes. Until even now, people post gameplay scenes on Twitter and on YouTube and on other social
new things I've never seen before. It's I remember
they experiment with the game. Exactly. And that's so lovely to see from players.
When we do playtests, it's like, Muffy, you were in it, and then they find me and they're like, look at what I can do, and then they completely glitch the game to death. I was like, oh my god, did we make this? That's so funny. So fun to see them destroy the work completely.
True.
But they don't do it when they know this everything I can do to break it, but they have the rules themselves that they live in, which is fun.
True. The closing question will be tied to the topic of neighbors. When players can hear or see anything new coming to the game, or it's a spoiler time and you don't want to talk about it.
No, it's fine. We just did the Paradise Coves map.
Yep.
I think it's super pretty.
It is.
It's super pretty.
It is.
The little shark that the Rosa made.
I was thinking so much, by the way, how to translate the map name to Hungarian, but then I came up with a very good idea and people loved it. So yeah.
It's I think that's super pretty. We made it quite fast. Concept wise, it's been there for a long time, but just making sure it looks good as well. But we made that pretty well. I'm super happy with the team that I'm. Currently now, everyone's going on vacation, but we have Eric, our main programmer. He's just gone full rogue, just in Discord, taking every feedback in and just making things. So we have an update. I'm aiming for next week.
Okay.
This will basically just be lots of no new content on features, but we might rework a perk or two.
I see.
But balancing. Otherwise, I think we'll have our next big update after our vacation. In Denmark, we have 5 weeks vacation. We will have an update in August. That's our goal for that, which we will introduce more. I'd say a new map. A new map is maybe, but I think that will definitely be there. and then 1 or 2 new game modes on top of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's what you will see overall. Us progressively building towards a experience where the game can be like the game can sustain itself only if there's 4 players, 3 of your friends who wants to play it. Then you will have a good time.
And I'm sure it will go big, so keep on grinding with the work of the game.
I think when we talked internally together, this is what we want. So I think that's true.
And players want that too. So in my opinion, even those competitive players want to chill a bit, right? Because being competitive every day, all day gets boring sometimes, and you will burn out. So I can tell that they will be so aggressive that they will burn out from being competitive. Every day.
I play a lot of League of Legends. I play tons of League of Legends, right? That's my that I relax game because I know all the things about it. But yeah, when I I don't know why I was going with that. But if I was angry whenever I was losing in that one, I would be burned out. But I just play it because I know all the buttons, I know all the things, I know all the macros, all the things, and I just chill with it, and I don't get angry. So yeah,
it's interesting, by the way, this topic of like when players do not understand the game or they are bad at the game, they will rather blame the game and the developers rather than blaming themselves that they suck, right? It's so crazy to me too.
I love players when I play online that when they are fucking up, like, but they don't admit it. It's your fault. And it's so blatantly like, what are you talking about? I think that is, I think something with sports and
exactly.
Where like
they did not do sport any in the past.
The lack of self-insight just goes away. It's like
it's a similar topic to when people judge any creative process or work of art by its price, even when it comes to video games, rather than saying, "Hey, I don't have the money for it." And I had so many friends like who said that, hey, this game shouldn't be like for, I don't know, $60 or $50. And I was like, hey, get a job and you will have money for it. Don't say that it's too overpriced, right? So it's like crazy to me.
So many people says $10 is too much. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's what it is.
Very true. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for your honesty and for this awesome conversation. I really had fun with you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you on the chat people as well for asking questions. Thank you. Like I said, I will need some more of your minutes off stream if that's fine. But for those who are watching this,
I think that's fine.
Here live on Twitch, or we'll be watching the VOD streamed saved version on YouTube and the edited version on YouTube as well. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, by the way, to check out First Class Trouble on Steam and Neighbor Suburban Warfare on Steam. It's on sale, by the way. Both games are on sale. 50%, right? If I remember correctly.
50%, yes.
Something like that.
$5 less than a cup of coffee.
Buy it. It's worth it. I can tell you. So thanks everyone who joined us for today's stream, today's Dev Live show episode. And have a great day or night or evening, depending where you live. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.